This idea of turbulence, of dreaming, of these two European cultures and Indigenous cultures kind of colliding. Those were some of the overarching themes that I was exploring. It's a seascape, so it feels very stormy and turbulent. And like a lot of my paintings, I look to art history for inspiration, and so I thought of that European vessel being represented as the raft of the Medusa, so kind of like a shipwreck, a raft at sea, kind of lost at sea. So you have this shipwreck with all these different characters from European history on one side, and then you have this canoe, or Mischief is like a central figure, and she's fast asleep. And so the reference there was Delacroix made a painting called Christ at Sea, in which Christ fell asleep during this storm, and his disciples were very disturbed by that, and they were trying to wake him up, and then when they woke Christ up, he just calmed the storm. I wanted people to think about what treaties were intended to be. How were they interpreted by Indigenous people? What was the intention of the treaties, and where did they go wrong? I always wanted to make a massive painting, and I felt that this subject really warranted the importance of that scale.
He flips the conversation from one of conqueror to one of maybe a resistor, or victim to one of victor. And he allows a sense of mischief and naughtiness to be present in the work. He allows his alter ego, Mischief Eagle Testicle, to really play the role of heroine. And through that character, he takes the visitor on a journey that allows them to see the country through new eyes. He uses the language of art to tell the story of history. He's not afraid to make you feel uncomfortable, and in fact, he's given educators and communities very accessible tools to have those conversations.
From my point of view, it was kind of also about imagining our future. As much as it's looking backwards, it's also kind of projecting forwards and kind of thinking about how do we move forward. How do we move forward from under this period of colonization, which is still continuing? How do we as First Nations people move forward with the Canadians that have come into these treaty agreements with us? I'm hopeful that there is change being affected by myself and by the many other artists that are doing the kind of work that I'm doing to decolonize our art histories, to decolonize our future. And I've become quite invested in it, because it's what I believe is the very core of my work is the belief in the power of painting, and the power of painting to communicate ideas, to communicate narratives, and to communicate histories.